Hi, I'm Dan, and as you can see, this is not a drink. I thought I'd do something a little different, something that may become a series, maybe won't. We'll see how it goes. But it's just a little interest that I had when I was a very small child that only recently I've begun kind of paying attention to again. That is, as I used to call them as a kid, little cars. I'm not like a car guy or anything like that, but when I was very small, we're talking single digits here, I used to have a pretty large collection of um, Matchbox cars, Hot Wheels. They were two separate companies at that time. I know they're both owned by Hasbro now. Um, Also, there were off-brand ones, Majorette cars, for instance, which were always a little disappointing. Tonka made small die casts, as I recall. There were generic ones. And I had a pretty good collection. In fact, I think they're probably still in my mom's garage, so I should probably go through them. Of course, they're not in good condition. I actually bought them to play with, so none of them are packaged. A lot of them are banged up and have paint falling off them and things like that. At any rate, recently I've noticed that Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars and things like that have popped up a lot in supermarkets and things of that nature in my area, and they're fairly cheap. They're usually like $1.50, which is what I paid for the three I'm featuring today. So I just kind of started getting into buying them once in a while, not as a serious collector or anything, but if there's a design that catches my eye, I'll grab it. Again, it's cheap enough. So I have three cars here that are, I think, interesting. I haven't opened them yet. I will on the video. But yeah, we will check these out, and I guess you could call this a review of sorts. Anyway, first and foremost, we have the Raijin Express, which is part of the Hot Wheels HW Metro line. A new design for 2021. There is a blurb on the back. The Raijin Express. In Japanese mythology, Raijin is the god of thunder, lightning, and storms. Decatura are Japanese trucks that are chromed out, lit up, and extravagantly decorated. If you haven't seen pictures of these trucks, by the way, this is, I guess you could call it a subculture in Japan. Decatura trucks are built with customization of chrome and usually murals and artwork on the sides of them, LEDs and neon and things like that. They're really quite something to see. So if you look around online and just punch in Decatura and the spelling right here on the back of this package, they're worth seeing. Again, even if you're not specifically a car person like I am, they're worth checking out. So, the Raijin Express, which I know I mispronounced at the beginning of the video here, has certainly some interesting artwork on the side. Kind of a reference to Hokusai's Great Wave from the Views of Mount Fuji series. You have the cherry blossoms as well. I think what we'll do at this point is open this up and see what exactly it's like. Of course, I can hear a million collectors crying out in pain and suddenly being silenced. But come on, these are $1.50. They're meant to be opened and played with, or at least displayed or something like that. And look at it this way. If you really are a serious collector and you have one of these in a pristine package, I just made yours worth a lot more in maybe 30 years. For now, they're still worth $1.50. So anyway, as far as the detailing goes, it's pretty well detailed, this truck. What I've noticed a lot of cars lately, they have plastic bodies, and that is the case here, not die cast anymore. It does have a metal piece on the bottom. Yeah. same artwork, just mirrored on both sides. Did they mirror the... oh, no, they didn't. So that's a nice element of detail that they did not mirror the Japanese characters. Probably a good thing there. Again, nice detailing on the front, the sculpting there. I don't really see any interior modeling, which is, I guess, fine because it does have the kind of dark windshield. It's not really necessary, but I guess it would have been nice to see a little bit of detail inside. You know, you can usually see the steering wheel and things like that. The other kind of nitpick is that the LED lights that kind of surround the murals on the sides are actually printed on as part of the same printing as the mural itself, rather than actually sculpted or made part of the sculpt and then painted like the lights right here. Maybe kind of a minor mark against consistency there, but yeah, certainly not bad. That's really a minor nitpick, as I said. So yeah, it captures this kind of unique Japanese subculture, I think, pretty well. It's not something I'm an expert on, but it's a cool-looking vehicle. This one I might see if I can find a place to display. I like it quite a bit. So, we'll move that one out and get rid of its packaging. Next up, Loco Motorin, part of the X-Racers series. What's kind of funny is that as a kid, I actually really preferred back then the cars that were actually modeled after real cars. The kind of more imaginative or outlandish vehicles that Hot Wheels began producing. And as I recall back then, it was mainly Hot Wheels that did the kind of fictional, sort of over-the-top designs more so than Matchbox. I'm not sure if that's still the case or not. Again, they're both owned by, and I accidentally said Hasbro before, but both owned by Mattel, to correct myself there. So, anyway, we have really not a blurb, just some warnings on the back. Like the Raijin Express, you do have the Ashenzian 0 to 3 sad onion icon. Yeah, nothing really notable on the back of this one. So, we'll open this one up and again see what it's like inside. I made a real mess out of this packaging. Yeah, there we go. So, obviously, this car modeled after a steam locomotive. Again, I used to like the more realistic cars. Nowadays, I do look a little bit more at the sort of out there designs more so. I actually find these a little more interesting than, in most cases, the realistic vehicles. So, as the X-Racers line suggests, we have a see-through, once again, plastic body here. The chrome elements of the engine are also plastic, the only metal part being the base. That just seems to be how they're designed. This one apparently is a design from a couple of years ago, 2019. Overall, I kind of like the locomotive aesthetic here. The one kind of quibble I have with the design is doesn't really seem to be any cab or anything. No place for the driver. The engine just kind of takes up the whole thing here. So I wonder who's driving this thing and where they are. I'm probably thinking too much about this, but all the same, a little bit of a strange mark. Seems to me you could just raise the roof of the back of it up a little and have the cab there. So, yeah, not sure about that element of the design. You do have this mirrored piece on the front of it, which has a kind of a molding seam on it, I guess. It actually makes it look a little bit like a crack, and I know it's not intentional, but I kind of dig that, the cracked mirror coming at you. I suppose you could kind of imagine a demented Thomas the Tank Engine type face, or if you get your own face in this little mirrored element, you could be like Peter Gabriel in the Steam music video for the song Steam. Yeah, not totally convinced by this one. Mainly it's the lack of a driver compartment that kind of throws it off for me. It's an interesting design, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be one of my favorites. Yeah, it also looks, interestingly enough, like you could hook something onto it. There's this little hook element here. Now, we have the final car to take a look at, and this one, the Aisle Driver from the Fast Foodie series. This is one that I've seen a few different variants of, a few different color variants. This is the black and yellow version, with the Crash Test logo. It is the Test Market. This one cracks me up every time I see it, because this is like Hot Wheels running out of ideas, basically. Yeah, it's amusing, to say the least. Basically just taking a shopping cart and turning that into the design for a vehicle. So, once again, nothing really interesting on the back for this one, so we'll open it up. Rip, tear, rend, and here we go. Interestingly enough, as opposed to the last two vehicles, this one is actually die-cast. This one is actually all metal, with the exception of the bottom. It's actually, I guess, a reverse. And this design has been around since 2016. Again, I've seen a few different color variants. I have myself actually, I have a red one somewhere, and I might actually have a blue one also. But yeah, Test Market. I wouldn't really call this one a car. There's no really visible engine compartment or anything like that. But the cool thing with this one, I actually like this one, and I probably would have dug it as a kid, not necessarily as a little car per se, but as a toy unto itself. You do get the little guy with it, the driver, I guess, and his sort of Lego Man-like hands hook onto the railings on the car, so you can push it or ride it, as we used to get in trouble doing in the supermarkets. You can kind of do one of these, kind of a Superman style, as we sometimes also got into trouble with when our mom was pushing the cart. He can kind of ride on the front. You can do pretty much any flip. I think he doesn't hold on to the sides quite as well, but you can kind of get him to latch on there. You can put him in the thing. Yeah, I probably would have had a lot of fun with this one as a child, and it's still kind of amusing. Since it is apparently with the Test Market variant, a crash test dummy, I guess, we could try to set up a crash test here, so that didn't work. Alright, let's try that again. So we can kind of set up a crash here. Let's put the guy in the cart, actually. Boom! Yeah. So, anyway, I kind of dig the Aisle Driver. I definitely like the Raijin Express. The train one, less convinced on that. But yeah, this one could be fun just to roll around on your desk and knock off of it and things like that. This one's a legitimately nice design that actually would look good on a shelf. So this one especially, I'm definitely going to keep around and accessible. This one again, kind of fun too. I don't know, I might sneak that into my desk drawer at work or something, just to play with. Well, anyway, this was kind of an experiment, kind of an unscripted sort of review, sort of personal history. just sort of fun video that I might do more of. I might script them a little more in the future, or at least plan out what I'm going to say. But this was just for fun. So, yeah, we'll see you next time. I'll have another drink review next week, of course, and I do have some plans for some other long-form, more informative videos that aren't just me messing around with Hot Wheels cars on the table here. Things that should be legitimate objects of interest. So, yeah, anyway, we'll see you next time on Dan's Objects of Interest. See you soon.